Yeah, it was really good.
Back it up. We got the audio of Jim Norton from 2020. Here's old Jimmy Norton on 2020 this past Friday.
These days, however, many of the comedians seem to believe that they have to add X-rated language.
I'm sorry if I said...
These days?
These days.
These days, comedians have to pepper it up with the language?
What is it?
These days?
75?
Yeah. And that was
Like
Todd Lynn.
I just went to see a Lenny Bruce play, and the whole thing there was that he got, arrested for saying cocksucker.
Yeah.
It's not these days, Stossel. He is so fucking out of touch, that guy. John Stossel thinks he's a know-it-all.
Yeah.
These days, comedians are peppering their act with language?
Are
you kidding me?
These days, however, many of the comedians seem to believe that they have to add X-rated language.
I'm sorry if I said a lot, I meant to.
It's routine now in comedy clubs.
Holy shit.
It's routine now.
Someone has to call this guy out on this.
like it's a brand new thing.
Like Richard Pryor wasn't doing that. George Carlin wasn't doing that. Andrew Dice Clay wasn't doing that. Red Fox.
Talking the early 70s and stuff. Red Fox tearing it up.
These days?
These days.
When I first started in 1990, you didn't say damn on a stage.
We couldn't even say water closet. Remember that old gag? You couldn't say water closet on national television.
That's right. You had to tell your mother you were going to go drop a deuce.
Right. You got to go to the shitter.
Mom,
Mr. Parr.
I got to bring the Cosby kids to the pool. Everyone knew what it meant.
These days, all right.
Mr. Parr.
Days.
I guess everyone was doing Seinfeld's act until these days.
These days, however, many of the comedians seem to believe that they have to add X-rated language.
I'm sorry if I said a lot, I meant to.
It's routine now in comedy clubs.
If we make fun of you, we're just kidding, right? Because you don't call a whore. Right, princess? Okay.
People laugh, but shouldn't they be outraged by the coarse language?
Yes.
The club let me ask them about that.
You're here at a comedy club. It's kind of rude what they're saying.
Hold on. When he was on stage at the comedy club, he's holding the mic. He was out of that reporter persona.
Yeah.
And trying his best to fit in as one of the guys.
Yeah.
Like he was loose working the crowd. It wasn't standing up there and going, you, sir. He's leaning over, talking to the people like he was working the crowd as a comic.
Sleeves rolled up?
Yeah, his shirt sleeves all rolled up. I'm ready for some business. I could do this. I think I got a calling in comedy. No, you don't.
No, you don't. Shut up.
Stuffed shirt.
You're here at a comedy club. It's kind of rude what they're saying.
No.
Why not? They're saying all the time.
It's funny.
Another non-story.
You'd be surprised.
He's shocked that she's not offended by the language.
Well,
at a comedy club.
2020 should have done this because, it's not like there's anything going on with the Muslims over a cartoon. So it's kind of good that they do the whole thing on, did you get offended at Stand Up New York?
And in all fairness, the cartoon thing happened after they taped this special.
Right.
Jimmy.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to go back to the editing room.
I would love to know.
You're right, though. It's.
And I found out with all the credits that rolled after how many people it took to throw this together. Just hundreds and hundreds of people, producers and their little interns and everything, for nothing.
We still haven't got to Jimmy's part, by the way. Oh. And there's only 58 seconds left in the clip.
I look like a reporter. I mean, you'd think that I was asking
When
questions.
you come in here, you expect to hear some of that, so it's not offensive. But if I'm in the grocery store...
Right. Context matters. How would you feel if on the street a survey taker came up to you and asked...
Like a lot of people feel it was up what the president did. Do you feel that President Bush overstepped his boundaries? Because everybody that walks by is 90, so I'd like to get a couple of younger people.
The questioner is actually comedian Jim Norton, who on this day is pretending to be taking a survey on current events like the war. He sprinkled his questions with curse words so we could gauge people's reactions.
Do you see any end in sight, or is this thing going to drag on forever?
We were surprised that most people were not offended.
I wasn't offended because I actually come from a family that uses a lot of cursing.
Some picked up his curses in their answers.
Do you think Saddam Hussein is going to be able to get a fair trial, or is that going to be a story?
It's going to be a story.
Only a few were repulsed.
You didn't want to hang out with him. You wanted to get away as quickly as possible. She was running
Not by the language. repulsed by Jimmy Norton.
And I wasn't starting off with cursing. I would ask actually a legitimate question. Can I ask you a couple of questions about the war?
You got to do that.
And some of them were like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "St. John's." They all thought it was legitimate until they got the...
And John Stossel's like, and they even answered by cursing back at him. No, they were giving one of the two answers you gave him.
That was one. I actually asked like a lot of different questions. That was one woman who actually answered me back, but she wanted to talk. She just wanted her opinion heard. She had no idea she was being filmed.
Yeah. She just repeated what you said. If it's going to be a shitstorm, and she goes, "Yeah, it's going to be a shitstorm."
Yeah.
Oy. Oh, there you go.
Wait,
congratulations to Jimmy.
Is that all?
That was it. Well, you didn't see the piece?
No, I did.
I
was hoping there was something wrong with my TiVo. I'm like, I must have skipped over that big hunk.
You taped it and everything.
Yeah.
That's all saved on your DVR.
It won't be for long.
TiVo.
That's
yeah,
nice.
People were sending files of it on the message boards, and it was they were like some of the smallest video files I've ever received. Here's Jimmy. I'm like, what's this? It's 1K.
I'm on a dial-up, and it took 5 seconds to download.
By the way, you nailed it on Friday. You said they wouldn't use any of the studio footage.
Yeah, you could just tell.
I said they were going to use like 5 seconds just for a quick setup.
Not even the pan of the Opie and Anthony sign.
Nothing.
And then over to Jimmy. And
well, I guess they got us back. Oh, well.
You got us.
You got us back for the assault on the media thing.
I think that had something to do with it.
I think you're right, Jimmy. Let's say hi to